Happy day 2 of Pride. We're gonna get a little in memoriam today so we can move on to happier things for the rest of the month. As I've apparently loved to cover over the years, anime depicting LGBT characters and relationships getting canceled has become somewhat commonplace. And when I say canceled, I mean like the production is halted or completely abandoned altogether, not like you're canceled. So today we're gonna cover 5 queer anime that were canceled before they got to air or in the middle of airing. But first, before we kick this off, I do want to give honorable mention to the Twittering Birds Never Fly second film. I've said it already in like the one other video I've made this year, but in spite of Grizzly going extinct, this production has not been completely officially announced to be canceled. So again, it could change anime studios, or it could completely get canceled ultimately. Give it 24 hours, maybe it'll happen during Pride. Getting into the list, number 5, Hoshiai no Sora, aka Stars Align. A soft tennis anime from 2019 whose story featured a non-binary character who openly discussed their identity. Stars Align is probably the iffiest entry on this list simply because it did technically finish airing, but the creator and director Kazuki Akane has stated that it was supposed to be a 24 episode series, but was cut down to 12 episodes. Which makes sense because that episode 12 cliffhanger sure is something. Aside from the short fan film that was released a year after the series ended, the chances of this one coming back are slim to none, also because of the plagiarized dance used for the ending sequence. It's an unfortunate situation regardless, although I personally am not that upset about it as I wasn't a mega fan of the series, but I do find it to be generally upsetting when it comes to a series being shot down halfway when it has such progressive trans representation. Number 4, Tokyo Babylon 2021 by Go Hands. Back in 2020, it was announced that beloved clamp manga Tokyo Babylon was going to be adapted into a TV anime by beloved anime studio Go Hands. Until, of course, it was revealed that Go Hands had traced several outfits in the promotional images, so the series was put on ice. Technically, this one is, as I love to say, not canceled. The production committee has come out and said that they will be starting over from scratch with a different studio, but it is a cancellation of the Go Hands iteration of the adaptation, so that's why it's on this list. In terms of this very specific Go Hands version of the anime cancellation, I'm like half and half in terms of how I feel. One, the voice cast that was announced for it is super hit and super miss for me. Aoi Shota for Subaru, not a fan, not that upset about the potential of him not being recast, although the potential could also still be there. Yuichiro Umehara for Seishiro, on the other hand, is in-fucking-spired, absolute perfect casting, enter my home. Secondly, Go Hands as a studio prior to this whole situation was a studio that I, contrary to most people's opinions, quite frankly, was not really that negative feeling about. K in its many installments is one of my favorite things ever. Absolutely love that little series. Handshakers I honestly didn't think was that bad, quite frankly. And I honestly personally found the series to be made a little slightly better by its sequel spin-off Wise, which I actually enjoyed a whole lot. Project Scarred, however, was a waste of everyone's time, and Ski Mega was even worse. Third and lastly, I was also split on the creative directions that this adaptation seemed to be taking. On one hand, the brighter battle angle was kind of an odd choice, didn't seem evocative of the original manga at the fuck all. However, I am not the biggest fan of the original Tokyo Babylon manga. I don't dislike it, but I'm very in the middle on it, so taking a new creative route for it was something that I was very much intrigued to see. I think it's inevitable that Tokyo Babylon, in one way, shape, or form or another, in one 2020 year or another, will make its way to our screens, whether it's with this production committee or a brand new one. Other clamp anime adaptations have been popping up here and there. We have Ray Earth, which is coming out later this year. On the other hand, we have Clear Card Season 2, which was announced forever ago and seems to also be in limbo, even though that manga has been finished for a few years itself now. So I think Tokyo Babylon will eventually make its way back to us. Without plagiarism this time. But RIP the Go Hands version, and RIP to Go Hands appealing to the girls, gays, and theys, because what the fuck is their recent lineup? Why on earth did I ever ride for them? Number 3 in the first entry that makes me genuinely angry, the 10 Count movie. I've done videos on this one before, so I will be keeping it brief. 10 Count is a best-selling BL manga by acclaimed BL mangaka Rihito Takarai, author of 7 Days. In 2018, the manga was announced as getting an anime adaptation, which was actually kind of fucking confusing to navigate, because 6 Lovers, which also featured a 10 Count episode, was announced around the same time. Is 10 Count getting an anime, or is 6 Lovers the 10 Count anime? Turns out it was both, except it wasn't both. Because after being delayed for several years, after being pushed back several times, 4 years later in 2022, it was revealed to have been canceled. Again, I've done a whole video on this before where I also reviewed the 10 Count manga chapter by chapter, so if you're curious about that, that will be linked on the screen, or you can find it on my channel. Just search 10 Count. Do you want to watch more videos of me? We have like 28 to go. In summary, I generally find that its cancellation is very upsetting and I'm disappointed by it, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the story. And I mean, the cancellation clearly hurt Rihito Takurai because ever since she has pivoted into doing shonen manga. TLDR, it's a fucking shame, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the 10 count manga, but I know that plenty of people were interested in it. Again, why did we have all these figures get released if it just wasn't gonna get an anime eventually? Abysmal either way, even though it turns out that that cancellation was actually a 10-year cancellation anniversary for another cancellation, the next cancellation, number 2, I Know Kusabi 2012. A remake of the 1992 OVA adapted from the BL novel of the same name, I Know Kusabi 2012 was arguably a trendsetter in that it was the first BL anime cancellation potentially ever. It was supposed to be 12 episodes, only 4 made it out of production. Functionally, I find this, aside from the next entry, to be one of the greatest disservices to fans of same-gender male relationships in anime of all time. Hilariously, we will talk more about I Know Kusabi in tomorrow's video, so for now I'll put it like this. Last year I sang the structural praises of Fukami-kun for its visual progress for erotic BL anime. Frankly, the shit looked good as fuck for gay anime porn. Before that, despite my not caring for it, Mignon similarly looked pretty good in regards to its anime fucking. However, neither of these series look anywhere near as good as I Know Kusabi 2012, which 1 didn't even go full hentai in its erotic scenes, and 2 came out over a decade ago. So yeah, I find the loss of I Know Kusabi 2012 to be abysmal. And yet nowhere near as abysmal as what I consider to be the greatest act of production-based homophobia of all time. Number 1, Yuri on Ice, Ice Adolescence. I feel like I've yapped and complained and ranted about this film being canceled like 4 times a year every single year since it was canceled, but I can't not think about Yuri on Ice and not get fucking angry because the overwhelming majority of the doujinshi and fanworks has Yuri as the fucking uke. What the fuck is this uke Katsuki shit? I disagree! Jokes aside, I will never watch another MAPPA anime ever again. Which is frankly not hard for me because they continue to adapt shit that I don't give a flying fuck about. But at this stage, and after like briefly looking into some things, I'm at a point where I now hold a conspiracy theory about the existence of what I'm calling the MAPPA dungeon. Because for years since Yuri on Ice first aired, the people have been wanting and waiting for the next big project from Yuri on Ice director Sayo Yamamoto. However, our girl has been missing from the anime production scene since 2018. That alone is a reason for concern, but she's not the only one who's gone missing. Hiroko Utsumi, our beloved icon of Fujobe, has been MIA since releasing the disturbingly underwhelming Buchigiri with MAPPA in 2024. Granted, that was only a few years ago, but what really makes it odd is that there's been absolutely no update on the 2nd season of her hit original series, SK8, with Bones. Now, am I personally waiting for SK8 season 2? No. But the people are, and in the meantime, aside from the SK8 OVA, she's only worked on an opening sequence for Jujutsu Kaisen. That sounds like indentured servitude to me. But lastly and more ambiguously, do y'all remember Kunihiro Ikuhara? The last active anime production that he worked on was Sarazanmai with MAPPA in 2019. The last anime anything he's credited with is the Penguin Drum compilation film from 2022, which was a recap production. Was he even there, or was he chained up next to Yamamoto and Utsumi? I'm just saying. Granted, he's been dicking around doing other unrelated non-anime shit since then, and he is constantly active on Twitter, but is that really him? But the man, the myth, the legend said that he was working on his next production in 2020 and has done absolutely no updates about that since. Studio MAPPA, where the gays and their visionaries go to rot. Sorry to start the month off so somber and to instigate rage. Are there any canceled queer anime productions that I missed, and how would you personally rank these 5? Also, what announced queer anime do you think is next for cancellation? What the fuck is even left? If you don't want me to go the way of Ice Adolescence, make sure to join my Patreon or click join button to become a channel member. Of course, it's not that serious, I am joking. Or give your money to organizations in the pinned comment that are actually fighting against our erasure more meaningfully. Tomorrow's day 3, get ready for I Know Kusabi. Bye!